Some shock returns ahead of the Burnley game tomorrow. Could there be some surprises in the lineup? We will talk about that. Eric Ten Hag speaks about Marcus Rashford, addresses him coming out about getting abuse. Eric Ten Hag has also banned certain journalists from the dressing room. We have some transfer news updates. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed one player Man United are interested in will be available on a free contract this summer. He will not extend. So could there be a bargain-free sign for Ineos? Left-back agreement within the club as well, and some updates on the takeover Ten Hag's future Tuchel. But we'll leave all manager talk to the end because it's getting so boring and repetitive. Ten Hag this, Ten Hag that, Tuchel this, Deserve that. Please do hit that like button if you have not already, and of course subscribe down below to Alice Talks if you're new. If you do want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, now I'm going to round everything up in less than 10 minutes for you guys. So this is some of the key points from Ten Hag's presser from earlier today. Luke Shaw, Martinez and Martial. Ten Hag said on them, I think we'll see them all in this season. They all returned on the pitch. Next week they have to make the step into team training. They can be available for the last weeks. Bosh. Don't rush them back though. I'd rather them not play again and not risk them picking up injury rather than rush them back when the season's over. I guess there's the FA Cup final and Europa League, but let's not rush anyone back. Eric Ten Hag says he expects Mason Mount to be back in the Manchester United squad tomorrow's game against Burnley. Brilliant. Don't know if he's fit enough to start at the moment, but I think, I'd really like to see a Maino, Bruno, Mason Mount midfield be tried at some point. And I think bottom of the league, Burnley would have been the ideal candidate to try it against, but I don't know with him being injured if he'll be starting fit, but I'd rather him than Eriksen. I mean, Eriksen was decent every day, but Eriksen can't play 2 games, or we even know that. Now, I'm sure you're aware, Marcus Rashford responded about the abuse that he gets, and he said it's been taken too far. We spoke about that in my video earlier today. Eric Ten Hag has then come out and had his comments. I have a lot of sympathy for Rashi. Last year, he had a brilliant season. I think the best season in his career. This season, he didn't give the performances and people have been very critical. We have to back him. Everyone should back him to get back to those levels. We have to back him. Everyone should back him and push him to get back to the levels he reached last season. Now, I'm going to say one thing on Rashford because I can't be bothered to talk about it because I spoke about it in my video earlier today. Marcus Rashford is capable of things that most of our squad aren't capable of doing. Like when he's in form, he has the ability that a lot of players in the squad don't have, and maybe that's the frustration. When Paul Pogba had the ability, didn't always show it. We know Marcus Rashford has the ability, doesn't always show it. I think maybe Marcus Rashford's become the new Maguire, where he's the scapegoat when things go wrong. Marcus Rashford deserves criticism. The Belfast incident was a disgrace. He deserves criticism. His work rate hasn't been the best. He deserves criticism, but there's a line between criticism and hateful agenda abuse. And sadly, he does get a lot of hateful agenda abuse. And as United fans, our best hope is that hoping Rashford finds his best form. We back him to find his best form because when he's in his best form, he's a good player. He's better than Anthony. He's better than Sancho. He's been better than all our wingers post Ronaldo, really, when you think about it. When he's in form. So I do have a bit of sympathy with Rashford in the sense that he gets way too much stick. I think criticism is fair, but he's got really hateful abuse. There are really horrible things that go out about him. If you write a negative tweet about Rashford, he's going to get so many interactions. So I do have a little bit of sympathy with Rashford in that sense. However, like Maguire, like Pogba, Maguire and Pogba didn't come out on social media saying, I'm getting abused. This is the second, third time Rashford's done it. Sometimes I understand why he wants to come out on social media and say, I've had way too much abuse, but sometimes it's just better to not say anything because I think it kind of encourages more knowing it. But if people know it bothers Rashford, it's going to probably encourage more, sadly. Anyway, can't bother to talk about that anymore. Let's talk about other stuff. Eric Ten Hag banned reporters from The Sun and Manchester Evening News and The Mirror from asking questions during his pre-match conference today. Those are the 3 sources of information that definitely write the most agendaed bullshit in the media, particularly Neil Custers of The Sun. Certain journalists, they let their opinion influence what they write, in the sense of they're trying to, if they Ten Hag out, they'll write pieces about us looking at other managers and Ineos turning on Ten Hag when there's not much credibility on it, but they're Ten Hag out, so they want to believe it. And I think Neil Custers is very Ten Hag out, very anti-Rashford, very all of that when he writes articles that are anti-Ten Hag, anti-Rashford. And I think they've realised, you know what? These journalists are the ones writing about leaks, spreading misinformation about Ineos turning on Ten Hag. Ineos have backed Ten Hag to ban these journalists. Maybe Ineos are frustrated with all the speculation on Ten Hag's future that seems to be driven by these 3 sources of information. Romano and Ornstein say, look, Ineos are absolutely open to change, but nothing's been decided yet. The Sun, the Manchester Evening News and the Mirror saying, oh, we're looking at this person, we're looking at that person. for clicks. So I understand that Ten Hag's banned reporters, and I understand that Ineos had backed that. And you know what? Fair enough, because these are the reporters that have been on Ten Hag's back since day dot. Wanted Poch, didn't care Poch, been anti-Ten Hag since day dot. He's banned them. He said, look, right fairly, there's journalists are meant to report on the facts, not their opinions. Here on this channel, we give opinions and we report the facts just because we report what the factual journalists said and we give opinions. But this is just a YouTube channel. When you're an actual Man United employed journalist, you have to have, that level of credibility and actually state information and not let agendas get in the way. Now, I want to talk about transfers because Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that Tosin will leave Fulham as a free agent at the end of the season and he's already informed the club financial decision made. With Rafael Varane basically confirmed leaving and one of Lindelof and Maguire expected to go and the injuries to our defenders, I'd bring in Tosin on top of a Todibo or a Bramford, whoever we go with. I think financially, if we can't afford two centre-backs, we get one main centre-back and we bring Tosin in on a free. He's a good player. He can be a really good third, fourth option. But, our ideal centre-back we sign is to partner Martinez long-term as our long-term pairing, hoping Martinez stays fit. But if we bring in a Tosin as well, I think that's potentially a really good fourth centre-back to have on a free, and I really hope that United keep an eye on this one. I think out of all the free agents, he is the most appealing to me, especially because he's got somewhat age on his side. He's not like a couple of the other free agents that are absolutely just old and washed and stuff. I think this would be quite smart business with him being, I believe, 25 or 26. Now, one thing we do know is that Manchester United have agreed within the club that the addition of a new left-back needs to be prioritised, and Miguel is being assessed. Miguel is the only left-back we've been properly linked with now, but it has been agreed with those in United that we are going to go for a left-back this summer. Romano said the budget for left-back would be no more than 25 million. Romano again confirmed United want a left-back, but they won't spend a lot of money on a left-back. We're going into Varane. Ten Hag does again confirm Varane's expected to play for United again, but there's no progress on any contract negotiations for the Frenchman. Now, Fabrizio Romano said it looks like Varane's going to go. It looks like Varane's going to go. I mean, Ten Hag's even saying there's no contract negotiations for the Frenchman, which is an absolute shame because I think we could do with Varane for one more season. But I guess he's on ridiculous wages. There was a story that came out last week that we reported on saying that Varane was never going to play for United again. He's injured. He's played his last game. But Ten Hag said he will likely play again, which is good because it'd be sad for him to play his last game like that. Let's continue on into our next story. And we saved the manager information to the end. But it was said by Franz Fletcher that Thomas Tuchel is a serious contender to become the next Man United manager. I do think with De Zerbi being a bit more expensive and now Potter set to go to Ajax, Thomas Tuchel would be the most likely candidate to replace Ten Hag if he sat right now. I don't know how he'd get on with Ineos, long-term relationship, establishment, him being a head coach and Ineos having a lot of power. Don't know how that would go down. I think Ineos would have to give Thomas Tuchel the heads up, but he clearly is being explored. And Nizar Kinsella says the expectation is that Sir Ratcliffe sacks Ten Hag at the end of the season. Now, to be honest, I think it's all guesswork. I don't think anyone knows if Ineos are going to sack Ten Hag or not. It is very much all guesswork. The expectation is, and most sources have said the expectation is that Ten Hag will be sacked. But, Ornstein and Romano said we're not looking at talking to any managers now. They're acting and planning as if Ten Hag will be there next season, but obviously no final decision's been made. But they say haven't chosen their next manager yet. Some sources say we've chosen our next manager yet. It's likely that, blah, blah, blah is going to be the next manager and all of that. But most of the reliable sources are saying we haven't made a decision on the manager yet. So I think, to be honest, we're getting a lot of information that they've made a decision on Ten Hag's future, this and that, and that he's going to be sacked. It does feel like he's more likely going to be sacked, but no one knows for sure. Anyway, listen, people, thank you for watching today's video. Please do hit the like button on the way out. Subscribe down below if you're new. Let me know your thoughts. I will be back tomorrow for a Manchester United versus Burnley watch along, so stay tuned for that. Liverpool breaking news came in about 10 minutes ago that Arne Slot will be the next Liverpool manager. Ten Hag's played him twice and beat him twice, so that's good for us, eh? But actually, I do think he'll be a good fit for Liverpool on an all serious note. Thank you for watching. Bye.